Welcome to the Jack and Joe Show. We talk about property, business, and everything in between. Hosted by Jack Heskin-Taylor and Joe McCarthy. Sharing the stories of entrepreneurs, property investors, and our journey to health, wealth, and happiness.
Hi guys, it's Joe McCarthy here. I'm here with Jack Taylor and also with Dave Goodfellow.
Hi.
How are you doing? So today we're just going to ask Dave some questions regarding his journey through SA. So Dave, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, pretty good.
Good to see you. Good. Thanks for coming over.
Sound?
All the way to Chester.
Yeah, thanks for having us and your lovely home. Nice, isn't it?
Humble abode, man.
This episode is just going to basically be the basics of SA for anyone that's looking to get started or may be interested in it or maybe taking on their first unit now, just to give you a bit of insight and Dave's expert knowledge.
Well,
what would be the best way for them to find a deal and how to start their search?
something like Air DNA.
Okay.
Have a look at your area, work out what your gold mine area is going to be.
Yeah.
So rather than just going out and putting your finger in the air and looking for houses,
Yeah.
go back a step and look at the market first.
Okay.
Rather than finding out that you've got a house and then it's not working as SA.
Yeah.
Then you're
already in there.
you're already in it. Then
Yeah,
it's too late.
Yeah.
So what is it, DNA, and how does it cost?
So AirDNA, there's two levels to it. So you get a free level, which you don't have to pay anything for, and that gives you a basic amount of information, which is fine for doing your gold mine area, and it'll give you an overview of the area. So I'd suggest that's the first step. And what that'll do is it'll give you how many units they've got in the area, an average occupancy rate, and an average price per night, which is a good start for any area.
Yeah.
So if you're looking at Liverpool, for example, I think there's about 2,500 SA units there. Chester, there's about 500.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and there's a high demand for it. And you can tell that through the occupancy.
Yeah.
So in Chester, the average occupancy for the year is about 70%, which is pretty high. In Liverpool, it's a lot less than that. I think it's about 57.
Okay.
But then you have to weigh that up against your price per night. So in Liverpool, you get a higher price per night. In Chester, you get a lower. But then you can just get into you can have a look at the areas that might be right for you.
Yeah, so they can sort of determine what area they want to work in first before they go looking for the deal.
Yeah, so don't go out and look for a deal before you've looked at the area, whether it's going to work or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't listen to hearsay. Get the actual data, because that gives you a much better understanding of what you're going to be able to do in that area.
Yeah.
So there's two levels. You've got the level where you can just get it for free.
Yeah.
So you can go in and you can have a look at the overview for that area. And then you've got a paid service where it gives you a lot more detail. So it'll give you, how many 1-bed, 2-bed, 3-bed flats there are in that area, or houses, how many, the seasonality of the occupancy.
Yeah.
And in terms of, say, finding out what the actual customer avatar would be for that area, how would you go about conducting that research? Like, be it like, say, corporate clients in a certain area?
Yeah, really good question. So how I would go about that is I'd go onto the internet and I'd have a look at the area and what's going on. So you can get development plans for areas from the council.
Okay.
And they have a written plan of what they're doing over the next 5 to 10 years.
Okay, and this is all free through the Freedom of Information?
Yeah, it's free. Yeah, if you go onto the internet and search for wherever the area council is, and look for their development plan, it'll tell you. Now, they can be a bit onerous to go in and look through and check out, but they give you some really good insights on what they're looking to do in that area in the future. So, for example, Liverpool have got lots of stuff going on.
Yeah.
They're building new houses. They're looking to expand their housing market by building apartments and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas Chester's got a lot of development in terms of trying to build more leisure facilities in the area. So they're extending the racecourse here. They're building a new business quarter. They're building a new leisure park, £300 million development. So there's lots of different things that you can pick up from the development plan and from the internet.
And in terms of finding the deal then, would you go directly to agents or direct to vendors, like landlords?
I would always say when you first start, let an agent be your friends. Okay?
Yeah.
So get out there as much as you can. There's always a street wherever you are which are full of estate agents and letting agents. there's a number of different things that you can do. When you first start out though, you need to get in with them and speak to them, tell them what you're doing, give them your story. You know, don't fill them full of any bullshit.
Yeah.
Right. That a lot of people do. You know, they go in and tell them that they're not doing Airbnb and they're going to be doing these long company lets where people come in and are going to be staying for 6 months. They're past all that now.
Yeah.
You know, they know that people are pulling the wool over their eyes when they do that because there's so much going on in serviced accommodation now. So get in with just, you know, go and see them all, but find a couple of letting agents that you get on with, and they'll feed you with properties. We did it in Chester. We only have a 3 letting agents that we work with. And they come to us with deals. I mean, we took on a block of 3 apartments recently that came from the letting agent.
Nice.
We didn't go through the letting agent. Oh, sorry, we did go through the letting agent, but that went direct with the landlord.
Okay.
So they introduced us. We paid them a fee for doing it.
Yeah.
Always make sure you pay them as well, because if you don't pay them, they're not going to come back to you next time.
Yeah.
Always make sure that they know as well that they can charge you as a business for doing the online checks and stuff.
Yeah,
which are
because the
not
tenant
allowed.
fees are gone now, aren't they?
Yeah, so tenant fees are gone, but
Yeah.
they can charge you as a business, and not all of them know that. So let them know that. You'd be happy to pay you a couple of £100 to get an
deal.
SA unit on board. So just make sure they understand that, because then they'll come to you next time, because it's a little bit more revenue for them.
Okay.
So when you're starting out, letting agents are your friends.
Okay, so if somebody's starting to look and they're sort of pricing up a deal, how would they go about working out their monthly costs? Is there any tips you can give for that, or some rough costs?
Yeah. So again, depending on the size of the unit, our deal analyzer that we have breaks it all down into sections. So you're going to have things like your rent, your utility bills, your maintenance costs.
Yeah.
And then, so you start off with your actual cost for that property, and then you break it down into your cleans, your linen,
Yeah.
and all that's going to be different for everybody.
Yeah.
When we deal analyse, we always take the worst case scenario, so we don't get a surprise at the end. Nobody wants surprises, especially if they're the wrong way. If they're the right way, it's all right. But when they're the wrong way, they're not so good. So always just make sure that you break everything down. You've got all your costs, and then look at setting up deals with other companies in the area. So your linen, your cleaning costs, and your maintenance guy.
With reference to cleaning, so how much, and obviously, like you said, it's different for everyone and the size of the apartments and stuff, but on average, how much does it cost cleaning wise for a 2-bed apartment and your linen and stuff like that?
Okay. Again, you can go out there, and my advice is don't scrimp on your cleaner.
Okay.
Never ever try and get the cheapest.
Yeah.
Well, you guys have
We've been there, done
We've
that.
been
Yeah.
there.
been
learned
done
hard.
that and learned firsthand, but make sure you pay your cleaner a good wage. So I always pay, you can get cleaners for £10 an hour, but I always pay £15 an hour. But they don't just clean. So they'll go in and they'll audit the whole property. They'll go and pick my linen up, do a stock order for linen, etc. as well. So it's one thing is, do not scrimp on that, because they're the life and soul of your business. All you need is one bad review for that type of thing, innit? How much would it cost to do a 2-bed apartment, I suppose, is your answer, as your question. So we spend about £35 on the cleaning for a 2-bed.
Okay.
And then for the linen, it's around about £6 plus VAT for a double bed.
Okay.
So?
And you hired the linen?
Yeah, always.
Always
We went through a process of buying it in ourselves,
Yeah.
but by the time you've bought it,
Yeah.
and then had to send it out to somebody to clean and then iron, and then the issues you get when somebody comes with fake tan and lies in the bed, you end up changing it. So by the time you've messed about and tried to manage it yourself, it's just easier to offload it.
We found out we bought all our own then, and we're starting to notice that some are seriously damaged, and at some point we're going to have to buy another load of it.
Exactly.
If you can find the hire at the right price, then probably worth it, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
In terms of contracts then, getting the contract sorted for the SA, can you run us through that process?
Yeah. So always use a company let agreement. If you're dealing with a letting agent, always use their company let agreement.
Okay.
There's certain things you need to change in it. It won't. I've never had one yet that's been 100% accurate where I've just signed it and sent it back.
Yeah.
There's certain things you've got to change in it. I think I've sent one of my ones to you already. But if you're getting them from a letting agent, there's certain criteria in there that you need to change. So if I'm doing my first deal, which we're really wanting to get over today, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll always take them out on a 12-month company let agreement.
Someone starting off, if they're only after setting up their company, they're going to an agent and they have to pass referencing. How does that process work? Or what will they say to the agent if they know they're not going to pass the referencing because it's a new company?
Yeah, so there's a number of things you can do there. So if you've just set up a new company, you're not going to have the history there to go and pass the referencing. It's just not going to happen because you've not got the history there behind your company. So you can do one of two things. You can either do a personal guarantor yourself, or you can use somebody else in your family to do that. So when we first set up our first company let agreement with the letting agent in Chester, I actually used my dad as a guarantor for that.
Okay.
Because we didn't have any. Well, you got nothing there at the beginning.
Yeah,
They'll normally ask you for a year's accounts or 3 months worth of bank statements. Well, you're never going to have that at the beginning. So get someone else to be a guarantor for you. If they're employed, even better. If they're earning over 50 grand a year, even better. But I think the base level is about 25 grand to be a guarantor.
Okay.
Similar to like your mortgage, getting a mortgage on a property. Okay. If you can do that, then that's the way forward. Okay. Or get involved in a JV with somebody that's already got a bit of.
Someone that's already doing it.
Somebody's already doing it. Has got a bit of history behind them.
Okay. So, if it was your first deal, would you recommend trying to JV with someone and looking for somebody to work with?
You know my answer to this. So what I would advise to people is when you do a JV, you're gonna lose half of your money straight away. Yeah. So my advice would be just get involved or go to networking events, speak to people who are already in the game. They know what they're talking about. Maybe they're in your area or close to your area, so they've got some local knowledge, and just lean on them a bit. Like you two guys did with us. Yeah. When you first started out. So I personally wouldn't want to JV with somebody who's already doing it and lose half the profit, because everybody's different though, right? Yeah. So what's right for me might not be right for somebody else. But I would say do it yourself, but get somebody who is already in the game. Yeah. Okay. That can help you along and mentor you. Yeah. So basically a mentor, essentially. Either a mentor or get some training. Yeah. Go out. I mean, what does training cost these days? For you can pick it up for a couple of grand, whatever it might be. It's it's worth paying that money out, because you could lose a lot of money. Yeah. If you don't. And that initial outlay is not a cost; it's an investment, and you'll learn so much from it. Yeah. Would you advise potentially for somebody just starting out to maybe find a serviced accommodation management company and contact them, and if they can manage the SA unit for them, see if they can pick their brain on areas? Absolutely. So what we did when we first started out was we went and got a managing agent to manage our properties, and that helped us scale. So I was out getting deals and looking for deals rather than speaking to customers and and spending all my time doing that. I was actually working at the time as well. So I was working full time before I got in. When I started my business up in November last year, the SA business, I was actually full time working, so I didn't have time to do the management side of things anyway. But in hindsight, I still wouldn't have gone straight in and done management. I'd have given it to somebody else to do first. Learn off the back of them. You can get a management company like ours that will take you on board, manage your property for you, but also train you at the same time. That's ideal. Show you how to build all the systems out. It's like the on the job kind of training, isn't it? Absolutely. It's like learning how to drive a car. You're only going to learn when you're there. If you can build a business and train at the same time, then that's perfect. Everybody's winning, aren't they? 100%. So, funnily enough, we do that. Little plug there. Just saying. Should we just because we've spoke about your deal analyzer and the stuff that you've helped us out with as well,
Is it possible to mention the Facebook group and the stuff you've started?
absolutely.
Any newcomers that want to get involved?
Yeah. So the Facebook, we started up a new Facebook group, SA Iconic.
Yeah.
Community. SA Iconic. I should know that.
Yeah. Spelled with a K.
So the SA Iconic community. Spelled iconic, spelled with a K. So IKONIC.
Yeah. Okay, Dave, that's great. Thanks very much. Thanks for all your help.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thanks very much for listening and watching. Hopefully you got some really good information from Dave. If you like this episode and you'd like to listen to Dave's full episode, that'll be coming out soon. So we'll dive really deep into Dave's background and everything that he's doing with his serviced accommodation business at the moment. See ya.
See you later.
We talk about property, business, and everything in between. Hosted by Jack Heskin-Taylor and Joe McCarthy. Sharing the stories of entrepreneurs, property investors, and our journey to health, wealth, and happiness.